Hey everyone, Lion Blood back again after the Dan Campbell introductory press conference. I'm going to try to rush this because I'm late for my second job, so we'll see how this goes. First off, Dan Campbell told his agent, quote, "Whatever you have to do to get me in front of Sheila and Rod, please do," because he loves the area and the blue collar mentality of the area and the people in it. He preached compatibility is more important than coachability, meaning getting the right players for what you want to do instead of just getting players who will do whatever you want because they may not be good for what you're trying to do. He called out coach speak, which was interesting because he really didn't do that. It was odd how just natural he was, like just a genuine person. Like if you just put some random football player in front of the mic and said, "Hey, what are your thoughts?" He didn't seem to pull back at all. He was still cautious about certain things as far as roster goes. Didn't have much to say about that because it's too soon. Smart play there. He said, quote, "I can tell you I'm going to win this many games. None of that matters. You don't want to hear that anyway. You've had enough of that shit." And he's right. We've heard that from basically every coach and GM we've ever brought in since as far back as I can remember. It's all, "Oh, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this and this is going to happen and we're going to be winner this year and we're going to be able to blah, blah, blah." Obviously, it hasn't worked out because we're looking for another coach. Or we just got another coach and GM. So that's a new, interesting way to do it, and it was pretty refreshing from my point of view. He said the team is going to be built on, in a nutshell. He had a lot of special phrases for this. Because you get knocked down, you get up and keep fighting, emphasizing toughness of the team. If you come in and you hit us in the mouth, we're going to get right back up and we're going to knock you down even harder. We're going to take some hits, but we're going to learn from them. We're going to come out stronger and we're going to hit you back. So if we end up playing that team again, if they punch us in the mouth and beat us, they won't be ready for what we're going to bring them because it won't be the same. We'll be harder. We're going to be tougher. He wants them to dread playing us because God, that's going to be tough. That's the kind of attitude he wants other players to have when he sees Detroit on the schedule. He also doesn't want players to be numb to losses, which was another very interesting new point of view. We get so used to people saying, "What happened, we can't change it, so time to move on and prepare for the next team." That, over time, that can get you a mindset of being numb to something. And if you're numb to things too much, it's hard to really build on them because they don't hurt you emotionally. So that's the other thing he said. He wants them to feel the full pain of the loss so it hurts and they won't want to feel that way again. Again, it's just such a new way of thinking. It's always been, let this hurt for today, but come tomorrow, we got to get back at it. And he goes, "No, because that sucked. I don't want to have to feel that way again, to come this close and not do it or to get destroyed and blown out." He goes, "That's not fun." So he doesn't want them to forget about it. He wants them to know that sucked ass. I don't want that to happen again. So they try harder and train better and study harder. It just, obviously the other way hasn't been working for us. So I like this new direction and mindset. Maybe it'll be the difference. Um, he also said it's not about getting the best 53. It's about getting the right 53. That's something I've known for a while. Everyone else is always like, just get the best player you can. Like, that doesn't always work. You can get the best player in history, but if he's a dick and just demands the ball every time, then it's not going to work out. He wants people that will fit everything that the mindset of the team is trying to achieve and the direction they're going. So it's like you're not going to get a 3-4 outside linebacker and end up making him play a 4-3, or it's like, oh, this guy's a safety, but he's kind of fast. Let's see if he works at nickel corner. You're like, no, that's stupid. You want people in the right places for the right things with the right mindset. So that was the other thing he said. He also said he's not going to make a hire without Brad Holmes' agreement. And Brad Holmes agreed, most likely on the player side of it. Like, he's not going to draft or sign players that the coach doesn't agree with or want as well. He wants a truly collaborative approach, and it seems like that is hardcore what the whole organization is blowing towards. Everybody on the same page. We all want the same thing. We're like knights of the round table. Everyone sit down and tell me what you think and what's the best way to go about this. So, no one person is smarter than a group. So, like, if you have 5 people in a room, 4 people agree on one direction, but one person disagrees and comes up with a different idea, and then people may think, oh, you know what? That actually makes a lot more sense. One person can change everything if they say the right thing. And all my jobs, it's like I do something one way for a year, then all of a sudden some new kid comes in who's done it for 3 days. He has a different view on it, and he starts doing it a different way, and it's actually better. It's like, well, crap, I've been doing it for a year and a half this one way. I thought it was the best way you could do it because I did it better than everybody else. But here you come in and right away you got a new way of doing it, and it's better than mine. Well, I should adjust and do it the way that person is doing it because it makes more sense. Kind of that mindset, which I 110% agree with. Along with that note, he says he doesn't want a yes man for coordinators, players. He wants to have his ideas challenged, again, because that's the only way you can get the best ideas out there. Wants to put the right people in the right place to do the best job. Again, you don't want the best people, you want the right people. It's the right people to do the right thing so everybody's on the same page. If you get somebody thinking the opposite way of everybody else, the team doesn't gel. So he's already interviewed 4 coordinators on offense and defense. Now, I think we've only heard of one each. Aaron Glenn, the defensive backs coach for the Saints. I can't remember the name of the offensive guy I just heard, but yeah, I've only heard of one each, but apparently he says he's interviewed 4 on offense and defense. He may have been exaggerating, but I don't know. But just have to take his word on that. So he's not going to ask players to do things they can't. Bit of an example I took from it is like asking a right tackle to get out to the far right flat to block a sweep to the right. You know, it's because that's not something they can do. You know, they're not built for speed. They're built for power and proper hand movement and getting your feet right around the area, but not for straight line speed. So asking them to drag across the line to get out there is just stupid. You know, that's what he means. So if certain players can't do certain things, he goes, well, then don't do it. You know, you're not good at that. I'm not going to make you do it because it doesn't make sense. That's also how mistakes happen. He wants to put our best against their worst. Gave an example later on in the interview, like putting Swift out to the flat to from the backfield and just motion him to the flat so a linebacker has to cover him. You know, he wants to put your best players in the best positions to do the best they can. You know, and eventually he wants to get someone like Kenny Golladay, if we re-sign him, against the worst corner they have on the field. And if they're running zone, I was like, well, then maybe that means Kenny does a 5-yard drag across the whole length of the field. So that cornerback has to try to defend Kenny Golladay, which is above his pay grade. It's kind of what he had in mind. Or if their right defensive end is bad at blocking or bad at stopping the run, but our left guard or left tackle is good at stopping or blocking for the run. Guess what? I guess we're running a lot of off tackle to the left because that's obviously going to work. You know, keep doing what works. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of mindset. Because yeah, if you can't stop us, we're going to keep doing it until you do. You know, if you can't stop a hitch because you're worried about this guy's speed, well, then we're going to keep throwing hitches because it keeps working. Said one person can't know anything. The collaborative idea helps the best thing. And in order for that to work, the collaborative approach to everything and open doors for open ideas sort of thing, you need to not have an ego. You can't come in saying, oh, this is what needs to happen. You need to follow my lead. And he doesn't seem to be that type of person. He really seems to fully encapsulate the whole collaborative approach. We're a team, one mind sort of thing. I'm really getting that vibe that they fully believe it. So the roster is closer than people think to competing. Seemed like coach speak for a second because we've all heard that forever. You know, they said it during the Patricia era and we got worse. But he did give a reason. He said there are some pieces here that he's excited about and actually called it out. He goes, more on offense than defense. He goes, offense wasn't the issue. But he said the right pieces to go with the pieces he likes here already can change things quick. And he makes a point. You see it every year. It's like a player is the worst in the league, and then they draft a stud defensive end who gets like 20 sacks, or he's pressuring the quarterback like every fifth drop back. You know, that makes a huge difference on the team. Or a team doesn't have a quarterback, drafts Trevor Lawrence. Guess what? Maybe we should be worried about that team next year. It's like that's kind of what he means. You just make a few right decisions in the right areas and everything can flip. So he's 100% right. It happens all the time. We see it all the time. And then everyone's like, ooh, how do we do that? He goes, well, this is how. You get people to know how to draft and people to know how to coach players and put people in the right positions, and good will happen. I also praised Stafford's toughness and called him a stud who wants to win. So it seems like he fits both Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes's player identity they're looking for, which is a breath of fresh air. He seems like he's going to once again fit in, thank God. I'm sick of all the trade rumors. He believes in putting players in positions to either rise to the top or be exposed. That's what that Oklahoma drill really was. It wasn't an Oklahoma drill. It was putting a defensive lineman over a offensive lineman and the offensive lineman snapping the ball to the quarterback just to do one-on-ones. He just wanted to expose either that defensive player or the offensive player to see if they were really good. Yeah, so that was what it was. It wasn't really an Oklahoma drill. It was blown out of proportion. Said he was a sponge with Sean Payton. Very good thing if that's true, because Sean Payton's a good head coach, obviously. I mean, dude's won a Super Bowl, deep into the playoffs most of the time. Always has great players around him. The team is always good. I was like, oh, crap. When we're playing New Orleans, like, yeah, but Drew Brees is old. He goes, yeah, but it's still New Orleans. So he was a sponge with Sean Payton to better understand what a head coach should be. And if he's going to emphasize the type of way Sean Payton coaches, I'm 100% for that. If we could just get a stronger, more buff-looking Sean Payton, I'm not going to be against that. Right after he praised Stafford, he did say he's open to everything on the roster and it's too early to judge yet. That's a very coach speak thing to say, so it doesn't sound like he's favoring one person right off the bat. You know, that's something every coach and GM says. Oh, we got to review the roster. Oh, we got to go over the roster. Nobody's safe. Everybody's going to blah blah blah. So no one feels comfortable in training camp. That's basically the whole mindset. They don't want players to come in thinking they're going to have it easy. Lastly, I have he wants opponent players to know playing us is not going to be easy. Oh, kind of already said that. Yeah, kind of sounds like he wants to get back to the whole black and blue division mindset. You know, you're going to leave playing the Lions battered and bruised. You're going to need ice packs. You're going to need time in the cold tub to recover from playing the Lions. So I'm all good with that. You know, physical, get back to basics, do things the old-fashioned way with a mindset on the future. You know, play it old-fashioned physical within the rules still. We don't need any targeting things or penalties on the quarterback, but basically be aggressive. He didn't say commit flagrant fouls. He said he wants them to be aggressive. And you can still be aggressive and still play within the rules. Overall, I'd say I was very, very happy. Sheila Ford was right. God, you hear him talking the way he says everything. You do just want to buy in. You know, he seems like a genuine soul who's not trying to sell you on himself. He actually said that. I didn't take notes on it, but he did say that. He goes, look, I got a lot to prove. You know, I don't want people to come in and think I know everything, because I don't. He goes, but I'm here to prove that I'm the right person for the job, and I'm going to be doing that every day. You know, again, he doesn't want to be comfortable either. He wants to know that he's got to do the job and do it well to continue being a coach in the league. Is it too soon? I don't know. He was an assistant coach for Sean Payton for 5 years after being an interim head coach. And God, anywhere he goes, no player says anything bad about him. They all just want to do everything they can for him. And you can't hate on a guy who has people that work for him feeling that way. You know, that's a lead from the front sort of thing. That's not someone standing in back saying, all right, you do this, you go up there, and you make sure my water bottle is always full. You know, that's hey, this is the way it needs to be done, so come with me. I'll show you how to get it done. I'll show you how to change things. I'll show you how to make it better. Going from the front, leading instead of ordering. is the way to change the hearts and minds of people and change culture. Not yelling and battering them until they cave. You want them to want to play for you and to want to be successful for you. And that seems to be the vibe you get from a lot of these players that used to play for him. So, overall, I'm excited. The hype is real. Everyone get your Kool-Aid. I'm on board. Have a good one. I'm having fun doing this. I might keep doing this for a little bit. All right. See you, everybody. Go Lions.